Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by. I hope you're all having a great day. I just wanted to make a super quick video on Uber's earnings. I wanted to give you my thoughts and then let you know if it affected my opinion on Uber going forward and if I bought or sold any more shares. Okay, right here I have the current daily chart pulled up, and a couple days ago Uber reported earnings, and as you can see the market liked what Uber had to say because it traded up on over double the average trading volume of the last 200 days and reached a high of over $33 a share on Friday. All in all, the numbers weren't too bad considering everything that's going on in the economy. On the earnings call, the CEO, Dara Khosrowshahi, was very upbeat when he spoke about the numbers and the future outlook of the company. And it seems the market at the moment has an insatiable appetite for good news, especially in the tech sector. Now, after earnings, Uber jumped above the 200-day simple moving average, or yellow line on the chart, and then pulled back on light volume. But today it's surging higher again and on higher volume again, which is a very bullish sign. If the market has indeed bottomed, as some are saying, Uber could be one of the market leaders of the next bull run. Okay, so let's get into the earnings numbers. Uber reported a loss of $1.70 a share versus an estimate of a loss of 88 cents a share for a big miss, but because of the pandemic, that really didn't surprise anybody. Now, they reported a total loss of $2.9 billion versus an estimate of a loss of $1.4 billion. Now, global investments in Didi and Grab and others accounted for approximately $2 billion of this loss. Uber's total cash position dropped from $10.8 billion last quarter to $8.1 billion this quarter, but that still should be plenty to weather the economic storm. Now, last year, Uber stated that it targeted total profitability for the fourth quarter of 2020, but because of what's going on, that's going to have to be pushed back to 2021. Now, the business's revenue grew from $3.5 billion, which was up 14% year over year, but down from $4.1 billion from last quarter, which represents their first decline since they've been publicly traded. The ride side of the business, which has been the most profitable, is the one that's been hit the hardest during the downturn. Gross bookings were down slightly year over year, but they did eke out a tiny 2% gain in the GAAP revenue year over year. Dara Khosrowshahi did state that rides were bottoming. He said that they've been up for 4 straight weeks, and they were up 14% last week alone, so that's an encouraging sign. Now, despite the bad quarter, when you take a step back and look at the year-over-year numbers, the business is still growing quite well, with total gross bookings up 8% and trips up 7%. The part of the business that I am admittedly the least excited about, Uber Eats, was the star of the earnings report. Now, Uber wisely took advantage of the population for the most part being stuck at home and ran some great promotions for the services, and it paid off because Uber Eats revenue surged 52% year over year. One of the best promotions was to individuals who've never tried the service before. Now, there's a large group of people who get comfortable with their life and are reluctant to try new services or things out, but when they eventually do, they tend to stick with that service. Now, I'm one of those people, so I understand this thinking quite well, and I think this aggressive promoting recently was a brilliant move. The Eats business crossed a $25 billion gross bookings annual run rate, and because restaurants' dine-in areas being shut down, there's been a huge increase in restaurant signups. This should continue to catch on and accelerate this side of the business as exposure to this service expands. Now, this pandemic could have been the best thing that ever happened to all the food delivery services out there. Last but not least is Uber Freight. Uber Freight continues to perform well, and gross bookings grew 55% year over year. Uber Freight continues to grow in popularity with truck drivers and businesses, and it was a good sign to see Freight gaining market share during the economic slowdown. In my opinion, when everything gets back to normal, Uber Freight should really take off. In other news, on May 6, Uber said in a move to stay competitive, it will be laying off 3,700 employees, or about 14% of its workforce, as the company faces uncertain future in the face of the pandemic. They confirmed in an SEC filing what we already knew, which is people are taking less rides because of the pandemic, and they have implemented a hiring freeze in addition to the job cuts. Uber also said they plan to spend approximately $20 million on severance packages and other benefits for the laid-off employees. Now, Uber also said CEO Dara Khosrowshahi will not be paid for the rest of the year. His salary was set for $1 million with the possibility of $2 million in bonuses. But before you pause the video and go reaching for some Kleenex, Dara's estimated net worth is approximately $220 million, so he's probably going to be just fine. So in conclusion, I was expecting worse numbers and a worse outlook because of the challenges that Uber faces in Q2, but I was slightly pleasantly surprised by the earnings report and the subsequent market action that followed. Now, the earnings report didn't knock my socks off, so I won't be adding to my position, but I also won't be selling any either. Because the outlook was encouraging, I will look to be adding to my position if we get better pricing around the $25 area, but I will be keeping an eye on Uber as well as the overall market, so that could change any time because I try to be as flexible and as unbiased as I possibly can. If I do make any changes, I will make another video and let you know about it. Okay, everybody, I think I'm going to end the video right here. As always, this is not trading advice, only my opinion on Uber and what I'm doing with my position for your fun and entertainment. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I would love to hear from you. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like and subscribe. I sure would appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take care, everybody.